Welcome to episode 20 of the Comedy Defect podcast. My name is Winter Phonander. I'm a comedian. We made it to episode 20, and this episode is with Philip Simon. Philip Simon has won many awards. Recently, he's won the Jewish Comedian of the Year award. We talk about the comedy industry, and Philip gets very passionate about how he thinks we should be treated within it. I thought that each of these interviews, interviewing comics, would be more or less the same thing, but it's not. People get passionate about different things because we're all coming from different places. You're going to really enjoy this one. I'm not going to talk about me because I'm really strapped for time, but if you like this podcast, you can follow us on Twitter. We're there at The Comedy Defect. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Winter Phonander. If you want to come see my live stand-up gig dates, you can find them on my website, which is winterphonander.com. Just go to the events page there. If you like this podcast and you want to donate to us, you can go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast, and you can donate as much or as little as you want. But if you can't kick something back to us, just leave us a nice review on iTunes or Podbean, because it really helps. I'm not going to say any more for this episode, guys, because this is a great episode with Philip Simon, comedian and actor. Enjoy. Philip Simon, thank you for coming to the Comedy Defect. How you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm good. A little bit tired today. My alarm, I was telling you earlier, didn't go off and let me know that I need to get up because I've got this new update and it's not working out for me very well.
But the alarm telling you to get up that's its one job.
Yeah, it didn't even do that.
If it doesn't tell you to get up.
Yeah, it's not a good start, is it, really? I'm not having much faith in this new alarm clock waking up system.
So this is the new update on
the iPhone.
iPhone.
Yeah, it's not working. So recommend just using the old system with just basically an alarm clock. It's much better. So yeah, just sound like my dad now. Oh, I don't like these newfangled updates, new things. But back in my day, you could just get up when you wanted.
You actually had the bells on. Do you remember those clocks?
Oh yeah, I like them. Even got a setting on there for that actual clock, but it doesn't go off, so it doesn't really.
No.
It's on silent or something.
Right. Okay.
I used to like those. They were really loud and quite annoying.
Yeah.
And you don't blame your family for being angry all the time, do you? Waking up to that, I just remember, like in the past, people were just a lot more angry.
In the past people were angry?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
maybe just my parents.
Maybe it's other people. I'm more angry now.
Oh, you okay?
But maybe other people are more angry. I think as you get older, you realise there's less time to get your point across before you die, so you might as well get as angry as possible.
You have more knowledge and therefore you're more angry about everything else.
Yeah.
So what else have you been up to then? Have you been doing anything exciting with yourself? You got kids and you got a wife and everything. How's that going?
I got married. We have a kid, which predates the marriage. But, before anyone starts doing the maths for us.
Right.
And we have another one on the way.
Oh wow.
In fact, this may be an exclusive. It's not even on Facebook yet, but we are expecting another in February. So it's busy time, exhausting.
Do you know if it's a boy or a girl yet, or are you just surprised?
We don't know. We've not had that. We're not that far along to have that scan, and we don't know.
What's the names you've chosen out?
Don't know those either.
No?
We struggled with the first child with names because we found it really easy to come up with girls' names. Really easy. Right. And we had a boy. So we struggled, and we chose quite a few middle names, Jewish names, there's Hebrew names and things as well. So it's been a bit of an elongated process. We'll find out if we do. We haven't decided if we're going to do the scan to find out if it's a boy or a girl.
Right.
We're still very much...
Yeah.
Do we want a surprise? Yeah. We fluctuate in our thinking. So. But yeah, it's got all that going on, which means gigging is the only time I get to rest, really, which is a very different experience. Yeah. I think they say parenting is the most amazing thing you can do, but I'm too tired to actually appreciate that at the moment. In 10 years' time, I'm like, yeah, that was bloody amazing.
Yeah.
But right now, I just, all the time, absolutely exhausted. Yeah, it's good.
Well, I mean, you won Jewish Comedian of the Year, didn't you?
I did, in 2015.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if they're doing it this year, actually, which is interesting.
You killed it, you nailed it.
I am the reigning... it's bizarre because the competition was in December 2015. So you win it, Jewish 2015, woohoo! It's January, shut up. It's 2016 now, no one cares anymore. So I did that. I beat off some very stiff competition from 11 other Jews. It's been like, as you're watching really nice about it, it's opened up a network to me I've met a few other Jewish comedians through it, which has been really lovely. The Edinburgh show I did this year, I just shared a two-hander with one of the other finalists, and previously I'd supported in her Camden show another of the finalists. So it's opened up a really lovely network that I don't think competitions matter. We do them because we do them, and there are an abundance of new act competitions, and the longer you do this, the more new act competitions you do, and you realise that you're not a new act anymore, but you still qualify because of the terms. So I think competitions are useful for a CV, useful for ego, and all they really do is piss off other people around you on the circuit.
Yeah, but I think, again, you need them. You need to differentiate yourself between everyone else. I mean, that's the only way you're going to do it, by succeeding in these competitions. Yeah, but it turns into a competition. And I came from the acting background, and it was so competitive, because there was one job for 1,000 actors. Now, there are loads of comedians, but if I can't get this gig that they're asking for next week, there'll be another one the week after that. It's such a more supportive network than the acting industry ever was, and suddenly you're pitted against each other because it's a competition, and all these people that you're friends with, you hang out with, suddenly you want them to fail because you want to succeed, and I don't like that. I do the competitions, or I've done them because it is a necessary evil, I think. But I've also won sort of the one night competitions and been told by the promoters it doesn't mean anything. I won't say who, but there was one who I tried to use that as a brag to get into playing their club more regularly. I was like, but I won your new act night a couple of times. So what? It means nothing. It bums on seats. It's a thing we do. Right. And you just think, well, if that's what you guys are saying. So competitions are useful for CV, for ego, whatever, but it frustrates me that it is such a great collaborative industry that suddenly we're turned against each other for a 5-minute set that you're not even necessarily proud of, because you're now doing 10s, 15s, 20s, anything, whatever, and you're having to think, what can I do? What's not going? It's like the Gong Show. I know I could entertain an audience for 5 minutes, but I can't beat the gong at the store if one joke's going to piss off the one person who's got the car, So there are plenty of, I think, better ways for acts to progress. Unfortunately, competition seems to be one of the necessary evils, as you say. And what was the name of your fringe show this year?
It was so the main show was called the Gilf and the Boujou, and it was Andy Zapp and Aaron Levine. Andy couldn't do the whole run, so I got in touch with Aaron. I think he was looking for someone, I was looking for something to fit into, and someone put us in touch. It became the guest in the Boujou. So he's the Boujou, I was the guest. And then the photo of the poster, they basically superimposed my head onto Andy Zapp's body, which was, actually, the guy that did it did a very good job, considering, and not many people could tell straight away, but I used to say it made me the only comedian to have started Edinburgh with the body of a 68-year-old, which was a nice little touch for the show. I don't even know if he is 68, but that was great fun, because I'm not ready to do an hour. I don't want to rush. I don't want my first Edinburgh show to be, or my first hour show to be, whatever you could see me do at a club, because I don't think that's the point of an hour show. I want to tell a story, so I don't have that yet. So this was just a nice chance for me to get to Edinburgh for a longer period of time, share a show with a friend who is we're at different levels. So I think we helped each other, because he was able to watch mine, I was able to watch his, and we were really able to help each other, and some really nice developments came through. I think I did about 8 or 9 of the shows, and I got to see how Edinburgh works, and how exhausting it could be just doing 2 weeks rather than the full run.
Indeed. And where did you stay?
With Aaron.
Oh, great. So
he sorted out a flat not far.
That's great. So all kind of worked out then. And where was your room?
It was Opium.
Oh, yeah.
Opium on Cowgate.
At what time?
1:45 in the afternoon.
That's not too bad.
So it was fine. What was really nice about it was it meant I could have the morning to rest, maybe go and do a 12 o'clock compilation show.
Yeah.
Do a tiny bit of flyering, which I hated flyering. I'm grateful that Aaron was happy to employ someone to do I hated flyering because there's just so many things to see in Edinburgh. And people don't want flyers. And also, I feel very self-conscious doing things like that. You know, come see me, come see me. I'm happy for someone else to say, this guy's great, go and see him. But I find it very awkward saying, come see me, I'm great.
Yeah.
And when I did the bucket speech and I used to say, look, we are so grateful. We know you have thousands of shows you could see. Everyone's you've taken a punt on us. So, and that probably stopped people putting too much money in the bucket because I was kind of going, it's not, we don't want your money. We like your money. We don't want, but we're just so grateful. So seriously, don't tarnish that with money.
Yeah. Cheapen this experience.
Exactly. So opium. It's a good room. It's downstairs. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
So it's the downstairs room, which isn't great because there's bleed through from the bar or whatever. But it was the right size for us.
Great. It
wasn't brilliantly set up. I think we and Aaron especially had to do a lot of work. I think he even bought his own lights.
Wow.
To do it.
Wow.
But it was once it was up and running. It was a lovely little space.
Something you need to bring your own stage, don't you? Or, and
being an audience as well.
Well, yeah. DIY comedy, that's
absolutely.
It.
On all levels.
You're an actor as well, and
I was an actor.
You were an actor, okay.
I still do commercials and voiceover as and when. I walked away from acting after realising comedy was much more exciting to me. I was better at it. There'll be some people listening that will go, well, it must have been a shit actor. But I was better at comedy. I was more productive at comedy, more in control. Because with acting, you're waiting for somebody to employ you. You're waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah.
With comedy, you could gig every night of the week. You can write when you want to write. You can write with other people, for other people. You can't do that with acting in quite the same way. When I started stand-up, which was 2011, I was still acting at the same time and I fell out of love with it. I had done a few things as an actor, a few bits of TV, some films, some commercials, some theatre, touring, West End. The thing I find fun about acting is you wait 10 years to get your big break, convincing yourself and convincing everyone around you that you're an actor. You get your big break and you go, oh, that's not what I was expecting at all.
Right.
And I had a fantastic few jobs that were very difficult to walk away from. They're great jobs.
What was it?
I did Peppa Pig. That was my big, long job. A year and a half I played Daddy Pig in theatre, not on TV.
Right.
Theatre. But it was huge. We toured the UK. We did... the UK and Ireland. Sorry. We did the West End. We were very mini celebrities within the 3 to 5 year old market. It was an amazing experience. It led to other things. So because I did puppetry there, I was in the Muppets. I was a Muppet for a day.
Wow.
In the last Muppet movie. It led to amazing things. It just wasn't what I wanted as an actor. It wasn't what I wanted. I don't mind touring. I love travelling around, but you don't get to see the places you go to. I could not tell you the names of the places that I've been to. I did a gig recently in King's Lynn, at the theatre there, and I got there and went, I've been here. Oh, well, I'd completely forgotten. I sat standing in the staging area thinking, I've definitely been here before, in the backstage area. And then through speaking to the backstage people, they confirmed, yes, I'd been there 4 or 5 years previously with a puppet on my arm.
It's like Memento. Have I been here before? Oh, yes, you have been here before.
That's exactly it. We were in 2 venues a week, so we'd kind of drive in on a Monday, do the shows maybe, I think it was sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, drive on a Thursday, do a show Friday, Saturday. It was just, it was fantastic. It was really hard work, which, not afraid of hard work, but it was a great experience. It put me off acting forever. I have back problems now because of the
costume.
Well, it was all puppetry.
Puppetry. Because you're sleeping.
Well, just the wear and tear on the body generally.
Right.
I missed out on family holidays, family weddings, friends' event. Because you're committed to the thing, and they don't allow you that time off. I got a filming job during it to go and do some filming with some big names like Gillian Anderson, Jim Broadbent, Matthew McFadden, and it was to spend a weekend in Spain filming with them. Now, I was very much the low of the low in that pecking order. I would have been there almost as a passenger until my 3 seconds of screen time, and they wouldn't let me go. They're Peppa Pig. They know you can't go. So we got an understudy. Why can't the understudy?
Yeah.
No, you're committed. So I couldn't fly to Spain to do. In the end, they rescheduled, and I did film it in Portsmouth with no other.
Great.
It was just me. Great. I should have been in Spain.
I know, but at least
I was in Portsmouth. I was coming out of the sea, which was meant to be Uruguay. It would have been Spain to pretend to be Uruguay. Suddenly it was Portsmouth on a military base with no hanging out with celebs.
No stories afterwards as well. I talked to Jim Anderson.
Exactly.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
It took its toll. The year and a half, it was fantastic. It was the best job I'd done. It was also the worst job I've done for lots of reasons, all of those together. So after that, I started to look at stand-up. I can look back at that time and think, God, if I'd been doing stand-up then, I could have been touring the country with the theatre doing stand-up everywhere. I could have effectively, because the children's show was during the day, so we had the evenings to ourselves.
Yeah.
I effectively could have toured a show on someone else's money.
Yeah. Oh, but like that's a bit annoying when they're going to sort of take out your place, because it's not like you're the face of Peppa Pig's dad. No. You're just the guy that moves the puppet. I'm sorry.
There's a bit more to it than that. But yes, you're right. It was. I mean, we were visible on stage. Oh, okay. It's like Avenue Q. So you're holding the puppets. The audience see you and the puppets. Yeah. Although the kids only see the puppets. Of course, they can switch off. It's the parents that go, "Oh, this is outrageous." We had a parent review on the website. Someone said, "My 2-year-old daughter loved the show. I was very disappointed."
What?
I don't care what you think. Your daughter loved the show. That's job well done. You're a grown-up.
Exactly. It's not for you. It's Peppa Pig. It's in the title.
As it was, I ended up being the only cast member not to miss a show. I think it was 550 shows or something we did, and I was the only one not to miss one. So I have that as my kudos. Fantastic. But so what? I missed out on other things. Except I had relatives. My cousin got married abroad, and I wasn't able to go to that. And it's difficult to explain that to people, because you say, well, I'm working, so I'm taking time off. Everyone's entitled to holiday. You think, yeah, but in this industry, you're entitled to holiday, but you're not really able to take it.
They own you. Once you sign that contract, they own you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tell you what time it is. You can't, you want to go, do you? Well, don't come back. That's what it's like. And then that spreads around the community. And you can't get any more work, isn't it? Because you need to be reliable.
I think there's a lot of that. And that happens in comedy as well. It's a small industry, no one likes to rock the boat. If there's a promoter that doesn't pay, or a promoter that runs a night badly, no one will slag them off, no one will chase them. I recently had to chase someone for money who hadn't paid me, and the only reason I went at them so hard and got the money plus a late payment was because I knew there was no future possibility of employment. So it's not like I was burning a bridge. They'd owed me money, I did the job, I was happy to... Whereas had there been someone who perhaps there'd be future bookings that would have been compromised, I might have been a bit more scared to go, do you mind if I get paid for that job I did for you?
Yeah, you're a dead-end, one-off payment.
Which is a really cynical way to look at it, because you should be paid for the work you do, and you should be appreciated for the work you do. But you do have to think about the long-term effects, and that is something that promoters, I think, can milk sometimes, because they know no one's going to have a go because they want future work. Well,
exactly. But you're a member of the Comedians Equity Guild, isn't it?
Yes, the Equity Comedians Network.
Equity Comedians Network, yeah.
Because I was a member of Equity as an actor. It's a very frustrating union, because you can be an actor without being an Equity member.
Right.
The clothes shop has gone. Maggie Thatcher, in her wisdom, got rid of the idea of clothes shops, I guess. And the problem with that is it means anyone can just turn up and do a job, whether they're professional or not, whether they're trained or not, whether and you don't have to be an equity member, which means equity contracts have less clout. This is a real problem for the industry generally, but what it means is equity has almost been weakened by people going, well, I don't need to be a member, what's the point of me being a member? I got involved when some comedians decided they wanted there to be some kind of a slightly more formal support network for comedians that weren't being paid by certain clubs. That's kind of the starting point for the comedians element of it. Certain clubs weren't paying, and there was a backlog of few years, thousands of pounds were owed. And out of that, the UK Comedy Guild was born under John Gordillo, Sarah Pascoe, and a plethora of comedians, promoters, bookers, comedy industry folk. And a lot of people at that meeting kind of went, well, doesn't this already exist with equity? Don't equity look after us? Because if you're an equity member, you get public liability insurance, you get legal protection. So if you were chasing somebody for money, they'll do it for you, and they'll do it more efficiently for you. But people go, well, I'm not a member of equity. Why do I need to be a member of equity? So we started up the Equity Comedians Network, which is really there for exactly that, to support comedians who are members of equity to make the industry better, make the industry stronger. And the idea being that we will look at, so we had a manifesto almost of things we want to do. So we wanted to introduce a contract, an actual contract that bookers and clubs would use, that it didn't have to be the kind of thing that would stop them operating within their own framework, because obviously sometimes you get a booking on the day of the gig. Oh, I've had a dropout, can you do my gig? Yes, I can. Right, well, here's 9 pages of a contract you need to look at and just take to a lawyer. It wasn't that stringent. The simple idea mainly being for cancellation fees, that was the big one. I think a lot of the work the Comedy Guild have been doing have been more about how we interact with each other as human beings and as nice people, and they resolve problems, and equity is more geared up towards the legal side of things. And so, for instance, if you do a gig and you say, yes, I'll do this gig for 50 quid. Sure. And then it's cancelled on the day of the gig. Right. Legally, you're entitled to that money. If it's cancelled the week before, 2 weeks before, legally, you're entitled to some of that money. But people don't know that. And equity can help fight that money. The problem being, again, people don't want to upset future employers. I had a situation recently where a big club dropped me 2 days before the gig for legitimate reasons. They've replaced it with a much better paid future gig to make up for it. So there was no... I wasn't going to chase them for a cancellation fee, because they made good immediately on there that we're really sorry, we fucked up. I had a different gig that I'd been a part of, a school gig, which got cancelled 6 days before the gig. There wasn't enough paperwork in place to make it as clear-cut, black and white, but equity got me the money that we were owed. So, and the other acts. That's, I think, where equity has been useful for me. The network, Comedians Network on there, is a handful of people working for a larger handful of members who are unfortunately going to, I think, suffer because a much, much larger handful of non-members are refusing to join. Right. And actually, without wanting to proselytise or anything else, not joining equity is affecting the industry at large, because equity can only work for the strength of its members. Equity can't work for non-members. Yeah. And for less than £10 a month, is it, I go and spend £10 on coffee and a lunch somewhere. Is it? I'd rather put that money to equity. As an actor, there are some things you have to be members of, like Spotlight, which is the big massive brochure that everyone goes in, and online castings and whatever else. And equity. I think those are the two that a professional performer needs to be part of. What people don't consider themselves often is professional performers. What people don't realise is if they have a day job and then they go off of an evening to do a gig somewhere in a random pub for a mate, that's still them being a professional comedian, that they are entertaining potentially a paying audience. And whether they're being paid or not, and that's something that equity will be working towards, because there is a huge debate at the moment about free gigs and what
there's so many popping up, aren't there, as well? There's so many around the place. And there's so many gigs that are doing really well and still not paying the acts. You're like, oh, we've opened up another 3 venues. Well, that's great. Well, why is the acts not being paid?
But you notice other people get paid. So flyers get paid. Right. Sound guys, lighting guys, venues get paid. Promoter gets paid. The act, and this is the same with acting as well, the act is always the last one to get paid. And the reason is people will accept it. People go, well, if I don't say yes to this gig, someone else will say yes to this gig. And it's true. I did a commercial years ago for McDonald's. I'm not proud of it. It's fast food, it's not the healthy... And a friend of mine had a go at me. She said, well, I can't believe you do that. Why would you do... Because if I say no, it's no protest. They'll give it to the next person. I'm nobody in the acting industry. And, Steve Coogan turned down £1 million to do a McDonald's commercial. That made the news. Because that's an endorsement. It's not... So Philip Simon turns down, I think it was £2,000 to do a commercial.
Yeah.
No one cares.
That's it. Don't pay your rent.
You know, McDonald's blows their nose at $2,000. They don't care. So I don't get $2,000 out of protest. It makes no actual protest. So I know it's the most pathetic response to protest because it's got to start somewhere. But actually, I needed to pay bills and eat and had I said no, somebody else would have done it. And it's the same with a gig. People don't want to say no to a gig because they think they're being screwed, or they think, well, this company has a history, a track record of not paying acts, but I'm going to do the gig anyway, because now fewer acts are applying for those gigs, there's an opening. That's the problem with the industry, because it's so saturated with comedians, which isn't a bad thing, it's just something we need to be aware of. Because it's saturated, if I say no to a gig, the promoter's not going to be sat there kind of ripping their clothes in anguish because I won't do their gig. They'll get the next person on their list to do the gig. And equity needs the strength in numbers. Like, you could never have a performers' strike arranged by equity, really, because there'd always be someone who will do their job. And because the closed shop doesn't exist, you can't say, well, this is an equity-only job, so you can't hire anyone who's not an equity member. In America, it's much stricter. I don't know all the ins and outs, but the union laws are much stricter over there, as are things like the laws about owning a production company and hiring the talent. So you can never have a situation that we have here, where certain companies put on the big, huge TV shows and only put their acts in them. You can have that over in America. You can here.
If you're a member of Equity, are you also automatically a member of the comedy, the UK Comedians Guild?
So the UK Comedy Guild is separate, completely separate.
Completely separate.
Anyone can be a member of that who's involved in comedy. So a flyer, I'm assuming this is still the case anyway, a flyer, a promoter, booker, a venue, and an act. Because it's all about the support network. The only people that can join the Equity Comedians Network are equity members.
Right.
You might have an issue with a promoter,
yeah,
and you might go to the guild, and they might be able to resolve it.
Right.
Job done. That's fine.
Yeah.
It might be a more legal problem, or a deeper problem, or a larger problem in terms of some of the clubs that aren't paying at the moment. Equity is compiling a list of equity members' names, and they're going to, class action's not quite the right word, but they're going to go at these clubs with a big old list and say, fix this.
Yeah.
They can only do that for equity members. UK Comedy Guild might not be able to do that on such a large scale. And I don't know if there's how much this is true, because I'm not as involved in the guild.
Right.
I go to them when they have the bigger meeting up, but I'm not on the guild.
Right.
The very basic fee is about £9 a month. If you're a high earner, you're supposed to pay, I think it's 1% of your income. But that's high earner. No one, I promise you, no one in my world is on that bracket. And that's capped anyway. So the people who are earning millions are still only paying £1, maybe £2,000 in fee. So it is capped as an annual fee. The people that Equity are approaching, the newer acts who are starting out, the more established acts who are still going, to join Equity, it's so unlikely they would be looking at that higher end of it at all. So it's £9 a month. The main thing I think you get from it is your public liability insurance, because that's covered. And otherwise you've got to go and get that yourself anyway. So you might as well get all the other protections that comes with being an equity member, like legal cover. I feel really awkward talking about it, because there are lots of problems with equity as well. It's not. It is not the best union. That's partly because it's lost a lot of its strength because of the closed shop and everything else. Equity. I used to go to my branch meetings, a local branch meeting. The first one I went to was so hideously run by all the old people who were just there for kind of a chat, a gossip and a chat. And the second one I went to, and a friend dragged me along, was 10 years later, and it was the same people. And actually we got more involved, and I went every month. I was on the committee for a while, and we changed some things. We got them online, got them on Facebook and on Twitter, and it blew their minds how productive we could be by embracing new technology. And it was great for a while, but then it slowly, as things don't happen, and people think things don't happen because equity is rubbish. It's not true. Equity is just not strong enough because it doesn't have the members it needs for things to happen. Where it's strongest dance committees, voiceover committees. It's actually got a puppetry network. It's got we're part of, as comedians, we're effectively part of the variety branch. So that includes clowning and I guess burlesque and things like that. Where it's strongest is where it's got the committed members who are part of it, and the more comedians we can get to sign up to it.
That's it.
But people who, as I said, have a day job, just do 1 gig a month, don't consider themselves professional comedians, will think, well, there's no point joining. And for them, that is probably true. But at what point do you switch between thinking, actually, what I'm doing isn't just a hobby, and what I'm doing is something that I need to take hold of and take ownership of?
Divide and conquer. That's what it is, isn't it? And if we can stand together, we'll all succeed. And that's a great system, though, with the fact that you don't piss the promoters off. They collect the names, get in some sort of litigation together, and go, look, all these people. So you can't be pissed off at one person. You can spread the blame. They brought them on themselves anyway, but they can't pinpoint someone and knock those people that person off their books, which is a really good idea. But yeah, it is difficult. Everyone doesn't want to get the last one to get caught out. And go, oh yeah, by the way, can I have my money? No, you can't. By the way, why? Yeah. What? And
there are people who owed money from years ago that they'll never see. They'll never see the money because companies go bankrupt or they change their structure.
Yeah,
there are people owed thousands of pounds that they will never see, and for some reason we think that's okay. As an industry, we think that's okay, and the guild, the network, and individually, people are talking about it in car shares at gigs. And this is something tangible we can do. We can go after these people. Effectively, we should boycott. We should stop working with these people. But people don't. And I understand that. And I still work for some of these people. You know, the thought of turning down work is not in our DNA. Why? We're freelance. We're self-employed. Why would we turn down work? That's how we earn money. But turns out we're not earning money because we're not being paid.
The taxing submission now is changing as well, isn't it? It's going to be every 3 months now, isn't it? I've read in the Equity or something, because I'm a member of Equity.
And digital tax?
I've
just had an email this morning. I've not read it.
I think you've got to submit your tax returns every 3 months now.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be a bit of a ball ache. Adding to the annoyance. I mean, it's not going to make much difference, really.
Bloody 52%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. With comedy, though, was it, Philip? When was your first gig?
I did a course. March or April 2011. I did a course at the Comedy School in Camden, which, it's interesting, there's a thread on Facebook at the moment about which are the best courses, whatever. I don't think there is a best course. I think it's whatever suits you. For me, this was a fantastic course. I would recommend it to people that want to go into comedy, but they also do a lot of work. A lot of people in my course are just doing it for a hobby. I found it fascinating because I'd already written most of the jokes I ended up using, and I used to just write ideas down. I didn't know I wanted to be a stand-up because I wanted to be an actor, and as soon as someone says, well, you're very funny, why don't you try stand-up? I was quite offended at, yeah, but I'm an actor. Why would you not say I'm a good actor? And the reason is because I don't necessarily think people thought I was a good actor, which is a hard thing to admit to yourself. Then when you start comedy, people go, really good. You know, that's the response I wanted with the acting. Clearly this is the right move. So I was always writing down ideas, and people had, as I'd always tried to suggest comedy. Someone who is now a much more established comedian, who I was at drama school with, we'd always joked about setting up a double act comedy. And so the course for me was more of a kick up the arse to go and do stuff, to write a set, not to have my jokes, write a set. And it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It was, I think, an 8-week course, and you do a showcase at the end. You invite people to showcase. It's the friendliest gig you do. It wasn't for us because someone on the course had brought some friends who were there to cause trouble, and so I was introduced post-fight.
Wow,
there was a fight in the room.
In the showcase?
In the
That's
showcase.
ridiculous.
Friendliest gig you'll ever do.
Yeah.
There was a fight, bottles were smashed, people had to be kicked out. Please welcome to the stage, Philip Simon. And I had to go out and diffuse the situation, which fortunately, because of my acting background, I was a bit more able to do that.
More confident.
And I think I went on and said something like, no, I wouldn't mind, I think that guy's my agent. And that was a nice thing. The room kind of went, all right, he's got this. So from there, I just started gigging all the time. I was single, so it was great. Yeah. So you could gig all the time. Sometimes you had to bring a gig. Sometimes you had to find friends to do that. And I did every type of gig available. I drove all over the country. I did those gigs. I paid my dues. did the free gigs, I did the slightly better paid gigs. My first payment was a crate of beer. I think my next fee was £7.50, you know, buckets split.
Still have it framed at home, yeah.
But you just
frame's broken now.
But I was never doing it for the money. For me, the money was a validation point that, okay, you've reached but I wanted to gig as much as possible, so I did. I gigged all the time, I doubled up. I think one night I may have done 3, which is frowned upon on the open mic circuit because you're supposed to be supportive and, you know, you stay in. And I agree with that, you should, but sometimes you want to develop as well.
Of course.
And actually, if you've written some new stuff and you go on stage and you say it, you don't want to wait 2 days to say it again. You've got a chance to say it again in half an hour. Go and say it again in half an hour. So I started gigging. I did the competitions. I did all right in some. I did some gong shows. I beat some gongs. I didn't beat some gongs. I met some great people, and you know, that's what I meant when I said about how supportive the network of comedians is. It's just so much friendlier. You do car shares. So you're driving for 4 hours with comedians. What are you going to do? You're going to talk comedy. That's what you have in common. Yeah. I've been in car shares with actors. You don't talk about anything because they're a higher status than you. I did one TV job where I got a lift home with one of the main actors. I don't know the name, but she was clearly very pissed off to be sharing this car with effectively a glorified extra by the time the show was edited. Wow. So I had lines that, you know, I was a professional, but she sat there in silence the whole way through. This was before too much smartphone, so it's not even like she could be texting or emailing. She was just sat there in silence, sulking next to me because I was in her car getting a lift home. We lived a couple of miles from each other, it turned out. Comedians, I never had that. You're suddenly, within the first few months of being a comedian, you're on a bill with people you see. In fact, my second gig, Joe Wilkinson was the headline. Not many people at that stage knew who he was. I absolutely knew who he was. And I was a big fan already. And I was not starstruck, but I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is, you know...
serious.
I get to perhaps get advice and feedback from someone who I like and respect and has just done incredibly well with an audience. You know, you can't do that as an actor. So you benefit from all of that. You're gigging all the time, writing more stuff, dropping it in, new stuff, old stuff, trying to embed it.
There's always something different you're going to learn, and you're going to. It's never, as I've said, it's never finished. But there's always that that tingle of excitement for that new bit. Oh, this is the joke. Here it comes, and then you just have fun with that one bit because you may have done the other jokes.
And then you do it, and it gets a nice laugh, and you ad lib something that gets a bigger laugh, and you think that's the joke. Yeah. There, and quite a few of my jokes started off as one-layered jokes that became 2 or 3 layers from discovering on stage. So I record every set I do, and I've done this from start to now. I've maybe missed 2 or 3 due to technical faults, but I record every set. I used to listen back to them religiously and work out why was that funnier, what. But now it's more so that if something happens, I can refer back to. I don't remember very well if I come off stage. I'm buzzing. I don't sit down and go, right, I said that at 2 minutes 30 seconds. So I need to listen back to the recordings if something in ad lib has been said or a bit of interaction with the audience. Yeah,
jump plugs,
not heckling, but commentating.
So I can replicate it and build it in. Heckling, oh, it's good. That's a great line. I'm going to keep that.
Like this happened on Saturday night. Actually, it happened twice. I think this happens quite a lot with northern audiences. I find that they are often funnier than the comedians, and it happened twice on Saturday night. Once with me, once with another comedian, where both of us just had to go, do you know what, that was better than anything I was going to come up with. So, well done, mate. That, you know, and the audience kind of goes, "Oh, we appreciate that." Yeah. It's not. They're not trying to dick around with us. That's why I love leaving London. You get better gigs when you're starting out and when you're progressing. When you leave London, because the London comedy circuit is phenomenal. It's great, but it's saturated. So there's comedy every night of the week, and often it's free. If you find a venue in the middle of nowhere, there's comedy once a month that they've paid for, they're more invested in. It's a night out. They're going to enjoy it more because they've invested in it. They've got someone's skin in the game, which is apparently a dying phrase, but they've got skin in the game.
All right.
They are generally going to be a more appreciative audience.
Is that a bookie's term, or is that
I don't know.
Term?
I honestly don't know.
Skin in the game. Skin in the game.
I honestly don't know, but someone commented that they hadn't heard it much of the phrase recently. It's only a few people now, and I've never used it in my life until this moment.
And you were saying about how they were more invested in it, and
much more. Even if an audience had paid £2 or £3 to be in the room, that's £2 or £3 money's worth that they want. If it's free, I did a free gig once where the front row were playing chess. How can a front row play chess and focus on not all the front, just two people in the front row playing chess, and they were just sat there. It's a pub with board games, and you're trying to tell your jokes. They wouldn't do that if they paid to be there, but you are the interruption on their social night if they've not paid to be there. Or a stag party. Stags, very common fodder for our audiences. But in a stag, you've got 10 people on a stag do, or a hen do. Only 2 people actually want to be there. The person who's organised it and the person whose stag is, because they said, actually, I'd like to go to comedy. The rest of them are just there because that's what the stag is doing. You're not going to get as productive an audience, as engaged an audience, because they want to be there. That said, there's a club famous in Bournemouth for purely being stags and hens that I emceed.
With no time limit.
You can come back any time. And I had one of the best gigs because the audience... I was so scared before. Not scared, nervous. Because I thought, this is just going to be crowd control. And it wasn't. Every act had a good time. I was emceeing, I had a lovely time. They were so well behaved as stags and hens. I think it's when you have stags and hens that are dotted into regular audience members that it becomes more intrusive. Yeah. And there are some MCs, some acts that can handle that beautifully, and some who I think just let it ride over them, and the night just goes on.
Everyone ends up shouting at the audience and trying to get their jokes out like that. It's no good. We got bit, and you sort of like just went, okay, this is the thing that fits me better than the acting.
Much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had an agent at the time, an acting agent who was phenomenal. I mean, the people on their books, they used to represent Morecambe and Wise.
Oh, wow.
They had a light entertainment side and a drama side. I was at the drama side because this is before I started stand-up. It became clear they had no interest in me as a comedian. They saw it as a hobby. They didn't want it encroaching on any potential dramatic work, even though they were happy to put me forward for sitcom and things like that. Mainly they put me forward for commercials, which is fine. I love doing commercials.
Crazy great money,
right? Well, it's great fun as well.
Yeah.
I did one for Enterprise Car Rental that's going to come out soon. I don't know when. There's a new batch of Enterprise commercials out now. I'm one of them coming up. It was 2 days filming. It was meant to be Spain. They'd used Wembley and East London to replicate Spain. But, we're in a car being chased by a bull, an actual live bull. Yeah. And I think my friends are in offices right now. So I love it. I love doing commercials. The money is great. Not as great as it used to be. Let's not get carried away. It used to be you could buy a house with a commercial. Now, if you're lucky, you can buy, I don't know, half a kitchen or something. It's still great money for a day's work, but it's not a day's work, because actually, although you're filming for a day, it does restrict what other jobs you can do for 3 years, 5 years. So it's not... And they buy the rights to that forever.
Buyout fees. There's not any repeat fees like it used to be. Sort of thing.
I signed one contract, which was I should never have signed, but I was the face of Heathrow Airport for a couple of years. Yeah. So there was massive billboards, and I was on those. Not amazing, because it was only meant to be for a few weeks. Right. We agreed. They moved the goalposts because the contract I signed was in perpetuity, which means forever. And they said we can show this commercial anywhere in the known universe. That was the wording on the contract. The known universe. So, in theory, Richard Branson gets his arse in gear and builds a rocket to take you to the moon.
Your face on
my face, and they don't have to pay me any extra. So it doesn't always work out. And as much fun as it was, people for 2 or 3 years saying, I'm at Heathrow, you're at Heathrow. It was a frustrating job to have had because of the politics behind it, but...
Yeah, and it keeps reminding you as well that you're not getting paid for that. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And that job should have been a huge payday.
Yeah, of course.
Huge.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. But that's the state of the industry. That's where the industry has gone. That, again, if I'd have said, no, I'm not doing that, they'd have gone, oh, gosh, right, okay, next. They wouldn't have cared. It's not like me not doing that commercial would have affected their product. Yeah. Their product was Heathrow Airport. People are still going to use Heathrow Airport. It was a very difficult decision, I think, to walk away from acting. But because I still do commercials, that's what I enjoy doing. I guess I never really enjoyed the acting. And the comedy just took over. I was doing better at comedy than I did in acting. I was getting better recommendations, I was getting better progression, I was being paid, I was starting to progress from open spot to middle spot to opener to MC, done a couple of headline spots. I don't believe I'm a headliner act yet. I think I can headline gigs for sure,
of course, but
put my face and name on a poster, it's not like people are going to go, oh, that's definitely a show we have to see. And that's a progression. I've been going 5.5 years, come out 5.5 years. You know, that's 7 to 10 years away that people are kind of queuing around the block because I'm on a poster. But
we just don't know you yet. It's not the draw. You don't have the marketing and the promotion behind you. You know, you can close gigs, but you won't have the draw. There's no real point unless it's like a smaller venue where they have a regular audience coming and they're there for comedy.
If I'm opening a gig or if I'm closing a gig, the material is going to largely be the same. The interaction with the audience will differ depending on how the night's gone. If I've been able to watch the rest of the night, I'll be able to see what's been talked about. And there is a difference, of course, between an open and a headline set, but not so much that most of the people you know that are doing really strong opening sets couldn't close a room.
Yeah.
But it's whether they can put bums on seats in the first place. And we live in a very cynical time where TV names matter. You know, you always see in the Facebook post, headline act needed, must be a TV name. Well, that's fine. We appreciate that you need to put bums on seats. But actually, TV names are also quite likely to bail on you at the last minute because they get a massive corporate job. So it swings around about. I've started to talk to a couple of schools about booking some gigs for PTA fundraisers, and they all want TV names. The budgets you're talking about, you can't have a TV name like that. You know, not the ones you're thinking of. But also, yes, I could probably get you someone who's been on Mock the Week or Live at the Apollo. But with the best will in the world, if you want to pay them £100 to come and close a gig in Watford, or they get a corporate for 3, 5, 10 grand, of course they're going to take that. And they would do that with my blessing because they've got bills to pay.
Exactly.
You know, and as frustrating as it would be for someone to have to replace them, no, I'm going to begrudge someone 20, 30, 40 times the amount that you're paying. Yeah, so
that's the industry all over. It's how little people think of comedy, isn't it? If they think £100, the headliner on TV, get £100 for doing a school gig. That's the comedy is just like sweeping the streets.
That's what's so interesting. I think my friends find very confusing. You know, they'll say, "Well, how much you get paid for that gig?" And I may or may not tell them. I'm quite funny about money. I don't like talking about it, but then sometimes you get a big old payday and you think, I want to tell everyone. But I don't really like talking about it. I think I come from quite a repressed background of, you know, we don't really talk about money. But they want to work it out from an hourly rate sometimes. So you might say, well, I got £50 for doing that gig. And you think, well, £50 for 10 minutes, that's pretty good. But then you think, yeah, but I drove there from 3 o'clock. I got home at 1 o'clock in the morning. Hourly rate, I should be working at Sports Direct. You know, it's a very different world. And also £50. But then you might be booked next week to do £200. That doesn't make you a £200 comedian. It just means that gig was worth £200. But next week you're doing £25
for show blogs down the road.
Exactly. So the money thing's really fascinating because there's no. You can't now say, well, I won't work for anything less than. You can. That's not true. You can say that in that I now look at the Mirth gig list, which I love. I love doing Mirth gigs, and I think for all the difficulties that come with them, and people like to moan about them, we've all had bad gigs, but not just from Mirth, from lots of other promoters.
Exactly.
They're good. A good way to learn your craft. Because I said you leave London and go. But I now know that I've reached a point on the Mirth list where I'm doing really nice gigs. I'm opening for them. I'm emceeing for them. I can't afford to go to Plymouth for £70, even if they throw in a B&B. Well, I think £50 to MC one of their nights is £50 plus B&B. To be honest, I'd rather they gave me that extra money and I drove home. But I still can't afford to go that distance, even with a carload of other comedians. For £50, because as you grow up, bills get, babies are coming, So in that respect, you do become the kind of comedian that says, "Well, I can't work for less than this." But I don't think comedians can say, "Well, I'm worth X amount, and that's my fee," because the fee is whatever the gig is paying. And if you think you're happy to do the gig, then do the gig. I'd much rather do a gig and get paid less, provided I know I'm not being shafted on the money. If the promoter's taking £1,000 and they're paying you £20, you know there's an imbalance
there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that's, I'm jumping back to the equity thing. That's one of the big problems is thinking about what promoters are charging. And I think the kind of midway point is the split between what the promoter takes home and the acts take home should be about 50%. So if it's £1,000, then allowing for the admin costs, the flyers, whatever, the promoter should be taking £500, and the rest of the 500 should be split between the acts. Now, some will fluctuate with that. Some will say, well, let's give 600 to the acts, and because we've got more acts. Or personally, I think every act should be paid. If there's money changing hands on the door, or if there's money changing hands with the venue because they're giving a percentage to the bar or whatever, if you're making money on the gig, your acts should, even if it's a tenner. Joke Club, Miles Crawford runs Joke Club, fantastic setup that they have because they pay all their acts. They get open spots and they nurture open spots. They get them in, you get paid, it's only a tenner, but you know what? For someone who's spent £20 or £30 to get to your gig, a tenner is actually a really good, generous compromise. And a lot of acts won't get that from other promoters elsewhere. But what you also get with Joke Club is you get feedback, you get nurturing, you get other gigs, and they progress you very in line with where you should be. So it's a fair process that everyone gets paid. Nobody works for free. Adam and Eve in Mill Hill, run by Rachel Krieger, everyone gets paid. Usually to the detriment of her. She would make a loss on the night because she was guaranteeing the acts get paid. Ivor Dembina pays all of the acts a guaranteed rate. And actually, he's the only promoter I've ever worked for that has said to me on the night, actually, can you do a bit longer? I'll give you a bit more money. No, it's not life-changing money, but how lovely, how generous that I would have done that extra 5 minutes for the chance to do an extra 5 minutes. But he said, you're doing a job of work, people are paying to see you, here's some money. So those people that look out for you, I think, are fantastic. There need to be more gigs like that. Nobody should be working for free. You should not be paying to do a profession. That's what I really think.
But it's like, I totally agree with you, but the thing is for those school gigs, they want to book comedians, well, they looked at how much, 100 quid we've got, but they don't see the time and the effort behind the scenes, not just coming to do those 20 minutes that you've sweated and you've gone through all the anguish and agony and stress driving to these other gigs that aren't paid to build up your skills, and then you take them there. They don't see that. They just see the end product, don't they? They go, well, you're doing 20 minutes, why can't I pay 100 quid?
Think of it as medicine.
Yeah.
Your ibuprofen tablet, Nurofen, that doesn't cost that much money to produce. What you're paying for is the 10 years of research that went into that to create this tiny little tablet that gets rid of your headache. And of course you can buy the shop's own brand for 20p rather than £2. Of course you can. And most people do. I do. But the justification for Nurofen charging that much for that tablet is we had to get to that point. And because of the patenting laws for medicine, at some point they had to give the recipe to Tesco, Lidl, whatever, to create their own version for much less money. So it's the same with comedians. You're not paying £100 for 20 minutes of my time. You're paying £100 and hopefully more, but you're paying that money for what's gone in to make those 20 minutes, then me turning up and delivering those 20 minutes.
Exactly. That's it. They still see that. They don't. You've written the jokes, come on stage that night and done your 20 minutes. That's what they feel, isn't it?
And that's the problem with any industry where anyone can do it. And comedy acting, so anyone can say, I'll give that a try. And it's great because there is a lot of raw talent out there, and people should be encouraged to try their hobbies and maybe take their hobbies beyond hobby into professional. But the problem with that, instinctively, is... What's that noise? Sorry.
No, it's that's really... like a baby, isn't it? It's like it's a baby muffled somewhere. It's okay, it's good. Oh, the baby, I forgot.
The baby's
you got that sixth dad sense, isn't it?
That's a dog's lunch defrosted. I think everyone that performs in a comedy club where money is being taken by the promoter, so whether that money is from the bar or from ticket sales or just from an arrangement with the venue, everyone should be seeing the benefit of that come in. I appreciate that a promoter has extra costs, and Edinburgh is obviously a very different beast. You've got flyers, flyers, brochures. Of course, there are costs that the promoter has to meet, but cover those costs first, and then pay the acts.
Yeah.
If you're covering those costs, I can break it down too precisely, but let's stick with our £1,000 thing. So you've got £1,000 that's come in for this gig, whether it's from the bar, whether your admin costs are £400. Clear those admin costs, get those out of the way. You're then left with £600 to split between you and the acts. That can be where that 50% bit starts. So you take 300, give 300 between the rest of the act. No one's trying to say promoters don't have costs and those costs shouldn't be met. But when people start business, they have to think, what am I budgeting? What are my costs? And why do we always think that acts don't have to be paid? You wouldn't say, I'm going to set up a business hiring plumbers, so I need flyers for that to give out into people's doors. I need vans, better buy some vans. I need some plumbers, but they'll work for free, so that's fine. It's only comedians, actors, performers, musicians that people think, actually they'll do it for free. And it's only because people will do it for free. And if enough people say, I'm not going to do it for free, even a tenner, just bung. There's someone, Josephine Lacey, lovely Josephine, who I've not seen for a while actually, but used to gig with a fair amount. She also worked through the comedy school, and she said promoters would say to her, I can't afford to pay you, but I can get you, let me get you a drink. She's like, how about you don't get me a drink, and you give me that money instead? Because they might have spent £10 on drinks throughout the night. Give me a tenner. I'll decide what I do with that money, and I will drink water.
That's it.
Or maybe I'll buy a drink with that money. There's always it's always the performer that loses out. Always. And the money is there. And it's only the promoters claiming, I can't afford to, or I've got expenses. Well, someone else said, fine, that's absolutely fine, pay me expenses. I'll do a gig for you, you pay me expenses. Here are my expenses. My mortgage, my car, my wife. All these things. But these are my expenses. That's it. So just to treat people with respect.
But there's that thing as well. You start talking about like, I'll buy you a drink. But sometimes there's places where they go, we can't pay you, but we'll pay you in drinks. There's not just one drink; it's unlimited drinks. But you're driving, and I don't really want to get smashed because I've got another gig tomorrow night I've got to get to and be ready for that. It just makes no sense, does it?
And you can't take the drinks away.
You want to?
I'll have a crate of beer. Just check my car.
I've got this flag in here. You can just fill this up.
It's understandable why they want to pay with drinks. Because they'll give you a Diet Coke, which they would sell at the bar for £2.50, but has cost them 8p in actual cost. So they don't mind doing that. They'll give you that. Even an orange juice, the margin is huge, so they don't mind giving you that as payment. It's not acceptable payment, but that doesn't mean we should turn down gigs. But I'm not anyone at acts have to decide these are the gigs I want to do. What can I get out of it? Someone else talked about gigging smart. It might have been Archie Maddox, lovely guy again, very funny, very good at what he does, good writer, good performer, knows how the industry works as well, knows what he wants and how to get it, and is not seeing his Edinburgh show this year was one of the regrets I had when I left Edinburgh. He was on my list of shows to see. But he's a smart gig. I think he talks about gigging smart. Yes, I'll do this gig. No, they're not paying me. Right, what am I getting out of this gig? Can I get new material? Can I try and run in some stuff that I've... is it a promoter I've not worked with before, so it's going to see me and progress me beyond...
Exactly.
Or is it a dead-end gig that, it's nice to have the stage time, but there's not going to be an audience, so I'm going to get there, I'm going to lose money getting there, I'm going to be performing just to other comedians, no benefit whatsoever, I'll be exhausted, which means tomorrow I won't be able to get up and write or get to my next gig because I'll be so tired. Gig smart, I think he talks about, that don't just think stage time. What are you getting out of it? If it's not money, fine, because it doesn't all have to be about money. We are artists, and we want to perform. We want to entertain as well. we want our words that we've written to get out there, and we want Twitter followers. You know, that it's that kind
feedback,
of pathetic.
Self-esteem.
I always mention Twitter when I am on stage. No one ever follows me.
Oh.
It's not true, but
we'll plug that
it's rare. It's very rare. I think it's because I've got such a stupid name, so people don't know. Because what is it? Is it 2 L's in Philip? Is it one? Is his name Simon? But yeah, gig smart because otherwise you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
And if you're wasting your time,
what are you doing? You're going to be. You're on a hamster wheel, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's how I see like there's many different circuits, isn't there? There's the basic circuit, the open mic circuit, which is unpaid, and you've got the paid open mic circuit.
But remember, the open mic circuit doesn't have to be unpaid. This is what I'm saying. It only is unpaid because that's the way it's become. People are making money off the back of us agreeing to do open mic free gigs. And most people who do open mic gigs don't care because they've got their day job. And so for them, it's not about money. This is, it's my first gig, my ninth gig. That's great. But if someone's selling tickets on the door for an open mic night, or if they're taking money from the bar for an open mic night, share some of that money with the acts.
Yeah.
Don't put 20 acts on, all doing 5 minutes, because the audience aren't going to have shit by the end. They'll be exhausted, they'll have fatigue by the end. Just be responsible about it. So there's the open mic gigs, paid, unpaid. What was the next level? There's competition gigs we've talked about. Again, those sometimes are a bit charlatan-esque because some are paid. The audience paid to watch a competition, or the acts have to bring a friend in order to perform because it's audience votes. So you bring 20 friends to make sure you get the vote.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's the competition ones.
Bit skullduggery going on.
I made a list once of all the different types of gigs there were, and there was actually quite a few progression gigs, open spots, middle spots, driver spots. Like some people will just drive another act. They won't have a spot on the show, but they'll use it as a masterclass to say, look, I'll drive you to this gig, I'll meet the promoter, we'll chat about comedy. Yeah, that's a very valid way of networking. So then you progress maybe to doing middle spots, unpaid middle spots, paid middle spots, 10-minute spots, 15-minute spots, emceeing, opening, headlining, TV warm-up, comedy writing. I write as well.
Yeah.
So
you write for Newsjack, News Review as well.
Yeah. So I submit to those. Officially, I can put myself as contributor because I have had stuff on both.
Right.
But yeah, writing with other comedians, writing with people that wedding speeches and stuff. I love doing that. So someone just randomly gets in touch with you and says, "Well, I'm going to do a wedding speech." You know, I really enjoy doing those.
Great.
So things like that. There's always different ways to develop your comedy. Live gigging is one of them. There's all of those gigs we talked about, but there's other ways that you can do it through the comedy school. I've done a few other things, so TV stand-in work, so Mock the Week. A few of us are there during the day, and we pretend to be the comedians, and we play the games. So it's lovely because we are hanging out in a TV studio with, we get 7 minutes with Dara. For
great.
He wouldn't know who I was if we walked down the street, but that's not the point. But we get to play the game, so we get to make jokes up, we get to write stuff, we get to think about topical jokes, and we're in the studio setting where, it's not going to lead to us being on the show, but although that said, there are people who have done that and gone on to be guests on the show, but they are, I would say, the minority, and there are extreme cases. But it's about keeping your head in the comedy world. And I had a day job. When I wasn't acting, I was working in office jobs. And it was too much. I was doing office jobs. I was doing parenting. I was doing being a partner to my now wife. I was driving to comedy. I was doing comedy. I was writing. Something had to give. Yeah. And I realised the one thing I needed to get rid of was the security of a job. Yeah. So I still do other bits. Of course, no one ever goes full-time and can afford to just give up earning money. Yeah, of course. So I still do bits of freelance work and various things. Top it up, isn't it? Yeah. That's it. But you need to keep yourself in the comedy world if that's the world you want to be in. Keeping your head in that world it gives more legitimacy to when people say, "What do you do?" And I'm a comedian. Oh, but you're in an office right now. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. So I'm admin by day, and I'm comedy banter by night. Yeah, It helps you give yourself just a little
confidence. It's a confidence
It's
thing.
confidence.
Isn't
It's
it?
confidence. Yeah.
It's like I do this full time. I'm fully committed to it. You're committing fully to something that you love, rather than just kind of going, "Oh, I'm just in the evenings." Just in the evenings. It doesn't feel.
Yeah.
You don't.
And you're not thinking, "Oh, I'd love to take that gig, but I can't leave the office till 5." That's the other.
You're available.
I was very lucky that the office job I had in the last one, it was very supportive, and if I needed to take time off, they never said no. I had to make up the time elsewhere, perhaps, but it was very supportive.
Yeah.
But lots of comedians, I'd say, "All right, we're going to drive to this gig, and I need you to be at this station at 4:30," and they'll go, "Can we do 5?"
Yeah.
And the problem with leaving London or London areas, that half hour can make such a difference, especially on a Friday. That half hour, you wouldn't dare leave to go to Plymouth at 4:30. You'd leave at 2 or 3. Yeah. So someone saying, "Oh, I'm working,"
Never going to make it.
No,
won't make it.
But people need to do what they need to do to survive. And I loved having temp jobs. I really enjoyed the office jobs. I liked interacting with other people. I like, now I do a lot of meeting up with other comedians and writers to collaborate. Not really to write together, but just to bounce ideas off each other and share support. Because I like other people's company. I like my own company, but I like talking about comedy, bouncing ideas about, whether it's writing for Newsjack and looking through newspapers and saying, "What's a funny story?
Yeah.
Why is that? That is a good take on it, actually. I hadn't thought of it like that." It's just a really nice collaborative industry.
That thing of just saying it out loud to somebody, rather than just reading it and going, "Oh, okay," and you can't really, it doesn't really rise to the top. But when you say it actually out loud to somebody, go, "Oh yeah, this," and you just follow it.
And it just takes the other person you're reading it out to say, "Oh, I thought you were going to say this," or maybe you could say that, and you've got a whole new life. Because until you say jokes out loud, they're not jokes. I was listening to it was your Fred Ferenczi one, and they're saying there's a relationship between comedy needs an audience. I think he said a baby is not a baby unless it has a mother or something, or in order to exist, comedy needs an audience. If I write a joke, it's not anything until it's said out loud for an audience to respond to, whether it's a laugh or whether it's to say no. That's not funny. Well, and that's why Twitter's quite good, because people put jokes out. The problem with Twitter is it's too rushed. So everyone's desperately trying to get their first topical gag out about, I don't know, whether it's Keith Vaz or Brexit, whatever, And actually, if you took time to stop and write a joke that you were actually proud of, you'd miss the boat. So people, and the better jokes I've put out on Twitter are the ones that I've thought about longer and longer. So it needs an audience, and if that audience, for a starting point, is a mate you're writing with, great. That's
got a leg up straight away. That's it. You got tweet this here. Oh, great! Straight out. It's edited. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Do you think that comedy has changed you as a person? You're an actor already, so you're already pretty self-aware. But but when you went into comedy full time, do you think you became more self-aware, or do you think it's made you happier or something? Are you maybe more miserable? Maybe sicker?
I've just choked quite angry with the idea of being happy.
More bitter? What has it made you? Is it?
I'm not sure where the line is between the acting and the comedy for what has made me. Certainly performing has made me more confident. My second gig, so the one after the showcase, I did it. It was a friend's night. It doesn't run anymore, unfortunately, but it was a very good night. And I just said, "Look, can I just come do 5 minutes?" And it's like, fine. People afterwards, they had said, "And would you believe it's his second gig ever?" And people were coming up to me afterwards saying, "No way is that your second gig. No way, no." And it's not because it was funny, it was hilarious. It was quite funny, but it wasn't hilarious. It was because I knew how to stand on stage. I had the confidence of I knew stage presence. I know that if there's audience in the far side of the room, you still try and engage them as much as possible. So the confidence thing, I think probably I already had from acting. Not personal confidence, I'm still quite an anxious, nervy North London Jew. It's a very
DNA. It's in the DNA.
Yeah, very much so, and that's where it belongs. It's so that in terms of stage presence, I can walk into any room, I can go into any casting, and nail it. I might not get the job, but I think since starting stand-up, I've embarrassed myself in auditions less. That's fair to say. So I think I've done better because I'm more confident that I'm funny. I always wanky statement coming up, and I knew I was funny. But there's a difference between knowing you're funny with your mates at the pub, and knowing you're funny to the point where you're going to say to people, "This is worth you paying something for." And I think in a commercial casting or in a TV casting, whatever it is, I'm more confident that I can own the conversation for the duration. That works. It's made me. I think it's made my friends and my family warier around me of what they talk about. For that old cliche, it'll end up in your set, won't it? No, it probably won't, because a lot of this wouldn't translate to real people, because, the neuroses of family life, obviously I've just merged with another family by getting married, so you're thinking about all the funny stories, the elements that come from that, and how my family, we say bagel, they say Bible. It's such a bizarre difference, but massive. But that's not going to be funny if I stand on stage and say that, because it's not funny. It's funny when we do it at home, because we know it is.
It's an in-joke, isn't it?
Yeah, and in-jokes can work, but you need to find a way of broadening it. So, what was the question?
Has it made you? What is...
It's made me waffle more.
It's
made me far more pompous and verbose.
Right, okay, great. It's made you more confident, but everyone else around you scared.
Just bored. I think everyone around me is bored. I think because of my acting background and because of my upbringing as well, I don't know, I think I sometimes take comedy too seriously. And by that I don't mean the writing of comedy. I think maybe I expect too much, and maybe I am expecting too much to think that all comedians should be paid at whatever level they are. Maybe that is too much for a promoter to dip into their pockets £10, even though, as I said, there are promoters out there that do that, and do that at the cost of their own profit. So maybe I'm just a bit... I haven't quite embraced the comedy, the relaxed comedy world as I should. I think comedy for me has given me an outlet. It's given me a freedom to say what I need to say. Most of what I say is based on truth. I have a lot of stuff that I'm writing at the moment about being a parent. A lot of it is negative, which is confusing for people, because I say a lot of what I say is based on truth. I love being a parent. It's the hardest thing I've done ever. The hardest thing. Absolute headfuck of how difficult it is, but the most rewarding, the most phenomenal thing. But that's not funny on stage. To say something's brilliant, to go out on stage and say, "God, isn't being a dad great?" Whew, I love it. Amazing. It's like, anyone else happy? Are you happy? Aren't we happy? That's not funny. But if you go out on stage and kind of play up to how tired you are, play up to how much of a dick your child has been, or something has happened, then you get away with saying things like that. So and it's given me that... There's that noise again. It's definitely a child. It gives you that freedom to kind of explore... Oh, this is so sweet. I'm not sure... It's someone crying.
It's not even my child. It's just annoying me that someone else's child is... Sorry. Anyway, right on cue, though. Right on cue.
I have found myself becoming a very judgmental parent. I said I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be a judgmental parent, and then you become a parent, and then you kind of go, "Oh no, everyone else is doing it wrong," which is not true, because there's no right or wrong for being a parent, and I'm sure that there are many things that I've done wrong about being a parent that will come back to haunt me. But I was in the park yesterday with my son, just the two of us, and there's a woman with her kid who's probably also about 2, was just running around, and she lost her kid. She's like, "Where is she? Where's my kid? Where's my kid?" She found her. It was on the other side of the park, perfectly safe. But instead of blaming herself for having mislaid her own child because she was smoking and talking with her friend, she was like, "I'm going to fucking kill that child. I'm going to fucking kill that child running off like that." And I just thought, was it the child's fault? Was it? So I think I've become typically more judgmental about things like that, which, whether I don't know if that's come across in the comedy or not when I'm on stage, because I try very hard not to be, because I'm sure people look at the way we raise our child. We weren't married when we had him, and a lot of people would have frowned upon that. We were very lucky that people around us, our parents, friends, family, were nothing but supportive, which was a real saving grace for us. It just, the support that we have for that is fantastic, and I can maybe see how becoming a parent, maybe maybe that's translated into comedy. I think I feel very protective over the comedians I work with. Maybe there's that. Maybe I've started to parent. So with newer acts, I'm a professional comedian, I'm full-time, whatever the fuck that means. But, so I'm not a new act. So when I work with new acts, as patronising as it seems, I feel sometimes I need to help parent them and try perhaps to not, do you need to buy your dinner in a service station, or should we make sandwiches and take with you? If I'm driving with someone else and they're speeding, do we need that? I think become a parent beyond the realms of my own family. But then I'm very passionate about comedy and about performing, whether it's acting or whether it's comedy. I'm very passionate about the people that do it, and I think we are a team. We are a united front, and I think working together, we support each other, and that with the comedy industry for sure is true. I've got opportunities that have been given to me by other comedians who've seen me, who've worked with me, who've liked me, who've recommended me to other people, because there is this sense of we are one community.
So have you got any previews you've got coming up for this year?
No, my plan for next year's Fringe seasons, I want to use next year, I think, as a work in progress year to develop my first show. People talk about, I want to delay my debut out because I can't get nominated. I don't see myself as a nominated worthy act in that respect. So I'm delaying doing it because at the moment I don't think I've got enough to say to somebody, come and spend an hour with me. So next year I see as my work in progress kind of journey. Gigs of note. So this weekend I'm at Glee in Oxford. I'm doing opening there, so you can come and see me there, but this is too late. The last weekend of the month I'm doing the weekend at Backyard opening, so you can see me there, but again, too late. So by the time you're listening to this, you've missed my current good gigs. There are others. I would say I have a website, philipsimon.co.uk. That's one L in Philip and Simon, just as the boy's name, Philip Simon, not the other way around. .co.uk at Philip's Comedy. So Philip S Comedy. I struggled with Twitter names for a long time. That's annoying. There is Philip Simon on Twitter already. It's like some 12-year-old kid who has tweeted 9 times and now blocks me.
What did you try to steal us? Say, look, just give up.
I just tried to just approach the idea of could I possibly have that name, because I've tweeted quite a few more times than you have. And he blocked me. I don't remember if it didn't go into a conversation. Philip's Comedy on Twitter. I do try and keep my gig list on my website up to date, but I really don't do that very well. November. The only thing I do want to say, if this goes out before November the 20th, if you're an equity member, on the 20th of November at 2:00, there is a meeting for comedians who are equity members. Venue to be announced, but it will be London-based, I'm afraid. So I know comedy can be seen as being quite London-centric. But for anyone who is interested in hearing more about what equity is doing and they're already a member, that meeting will be open to them on the 20th in the afternoon.
Brilliant. Well, Philip, thanks for coming on the show.
As a formal handshake.
Yeah.
Very awkward when we take the coffee back to the kitchen. Thank you. Very enjoyed it.
And that was Philip Simon. I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed talking to Philip. Got very passionate about the comedy industry. It's great. Next week, we've got Daphne Barham for episode 21. Now, if you like this podcast and you want to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter. We're there at The Comedy Defect. If you want to follow me, it's at Winter Phonander. If you want to donate to this podcast, you can find us on Patreon. Just go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast, and donate as much or as little as you want. But if you cannot kick something back to us, just leave us a nice review on iTunes or Podbean, because it really helps. I say, guys, I'm really strapped for time this week, so that's all it's going to be next week, episode 21 with Daphne Barham. I hope you enjoyed the episode with Philip Simon, and that's it from the Comedy Defect Podcast. We'll see you next week for episode 21.